Okay.
All right, colleagues, we'll start at 9 exactly. Then it will be shared on all our social media pages. Then we can start.
Okay.
All right.
But we don't have, are you recording already?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, it is recording, but it will only be shared on our social media as from 9.
Oh. Okay. So we don't clash, ne? When we are presenting.
And I see we have 0 attendance so far.
We are too excited, man, Katole.
I think a lot of people mainly see it through social media, and then you get a lot of views afterwards. So
Oh, we don't need to have participants on this.
yeah, we don't have to have live participants.
Oh.
Then it's fine.
Yeah, so don't worry about that.
So you when you are done, you just say whoever can take over.
Yeah, I'll just say whoever wants to take over.
Eh?
Yeah, that's what I'll say.
But you announce the person who will take over from you most, so that we don't get confused in between.
Not take over, but just add some inputs.
Yeah, it's more like you open the floor for the panelists just to come in and add their views.
Yes. Okay. It's 9 o'clock. I think we are able to start. Let me just share my screen first of all, so you can. Okay, I think the video sharing has been stopped by the host. Okay, good morning, everybody in attendance. Good morning, my fellow panelists, all who are attending from the far corners of the world, and those at home. Welcome to our weekly webinars. This week we have a webinar, Becoming a Brand Champion. We'll really discuss the concept of brand championing and branding in itself, and internal branding, and the steps that employees can take to become brand champions. So I believe that we're all capable of becoming brand champions. And if we all do champion the brands that we do like, and our employers, the world and Namibia in itself will become a better place. Okay, I will let my panelists introduce themselves. I don't want to go into too much detail about them. So I'll give over the floor to Ms. Mona Lisa. You can introduce yourself.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Katole, for the floor. My name, as Mr. Katole has indicated, my name is Mona Lisa Kapere. I'm the Business Support Officer of NIPAM.
Thanks, Ms. Mona Lisa. Mona Lisa is actually our NIPAM brand ambassador for the month of February. So for this edition, we only have past brand ambassadors, our brand champions. So it's a championship edition. Mr. Benitez?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Katole, for the opportunity. My name is Benitez Kasana. I'm the ICT officer here at NIPAM. I was one of the brand champion for the month of March. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Benitez. And then finally, we have our brand champion for the month of June. This is Miss Justina. Miss Justina.
Thank you very much, Mr. Katole. My name is Justina Amwalwa, and I am the receptionist at NIPAM.
Yes, and she's also, as I had mentioned, the brand champion for the month of June. So, okay, without further ado, we'll get into our presentation. Okay, if we look at the schedule, we'll have an introduction about NIPAM, and then that's the first section. And then we'll have section 2, where we'll talk about branding in general, internal branding, brand champion, and then the steps into becoming a brand champion. Section 1, if we look at the mandate of NIPAM, I always like to have our listeners introduction into the mandate of NIPAM. So what is our purpose? What are we about? First of all, we were mandated to provide management and administration training for the public sector. So it's the public service, the ministries, the public enterprise, the local authorities, and then also regional councils. Okay, and then also to install a culture of service in the public sector. So this is one of the initiatives, these webinars. So we hopefully all public sector employees can become brand champions, and this is how you install a culture of service. And then also to build and coordinate our partnerships in the area of operational research and capacity evaluations. So we really want to evaluate the capacity in the public sector, and then also to have operational research. So it's only from research that we can identify the problems, and we can really grow from there. And then finally, to serve as a think tank for the public sector. And these are, as I said, as I mentioned, these are one of the initiatives we do come up with. The weekly webinars where we explore different topics, and this topic is really as important as all the other topics. Brand champion. So if we look at our programs more on the training side, we have flagship programs and we have specialized programs. Our flagship programs, these are more our management development programs. We have executive, but I'll go into detail. And then we have the more customized programs. These are really area specific. So we have customer care, fraud, procurement training, strategic planning. So they're more area specific. And then the flagship programs, these ones are more, because we say when you come into the public sector, you should have your pre-qualification already. So you maybe have your B degree, and you're just thrown into management and you have no leadership experience. So you come to NIPAM and we give you that leadership experience. So we teach you at the level that you are. So if you come in as an entry, as an intern, you get the foundation program. This is really a program that teaches you about the basics of the public sector, of the government, the direction which the government is going, the NDPs, the Vision 2030s. And you also get to learn the different ministries. So you learn what the difference between Ministry of Agriculture and Ministry of Urban and Rural Development, and the mandates of these important institutions. And you also learn about the public enterprises like NIPAM and Manpower and all the rest. So you also learn about the mandates. So you really have a firm, after this course, you really have a firm foundation of the Namibian public service. So you can really go anywhere in the world, and if they ask you questions, you should be able to answer these questions. And then after that, maybe you get promoted in a few years to a supervisor. You've upgraded your own skills through some of the universities, and now you maybe have a master's, and you've earned the level of supervisory. Therefore, you need supervisors, because now you're leading people. These academic institutions do not really teach you how to lead. So therefore, you come to NIPAM and we teach you how to lead, the skills to lead a group of people, and also just to give direction in a department. And therefore, you go to middle management, we teach you the same, how to lead at middle management. And senior management, obviously, this is the direction of you lead now a whole entire organization. So we really teach you at this. I mean, nobody was really born just to lead. You acquire these skills through reading and knowledge and attending workshops such as these. And then finally, if you do become an executive director, you go through our executive development program. And you can't, let's say you just come into the public sector and you want to do executive development. It doesn't work like that. It's not a university where you do your first degree, then master's, then you can do your doctorate by the age of 25. So this one, you really have to be in the role for you to qualify to do these programs. Finally, we have our venue hire. I will let my colleague, Ms. Mona Lisa, speak about this. Ms. Kapere. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Katole, for the floor again. I will talk about our beautiful venue. We have a different variety of venues. We have if you want, let's say if you want to hold meetings, if you want to have trainings on, and then if you want to have weddings and all those things, we have different types of venues with a seating capacity from the biggest venue that we have has got, we'll seat up to 300 people. That is our executive hall. And then the lowest is 10 people that will accommodate in our venues. Okay, our facilities, we have the conference for the one that I indicated, that we have conferences that can take up to 300 people. We have breakaway rooms that only focus on groups and meetings. So we have our venues are fully equipped with all the modern technologies, modern equipments, and yeah. And with our cafeteria, you can hire, our cafeteria can accommodate up to 200 people. And yeah, we offer, in our cafeteria, we offer different setups, lunch, refreshments, and all those things. And then if you want if you want the catering outside, we have a very beautiful amphitheater where you can do outdoor activities. Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Katole.
All right, thanks, Ms. Kapere. Just to mention, I always say that universities and are for undergrads and those seeking, formal qualifications. But if you are a public sector institution, your campus is really NIPAM. So we even have, as Ms. Onlisa had mentioned, we have a fully equipped library where you can come study, you can become a member, and you can maybe even, if you want to study, you can come into some of our venues and really use them for studying and really further your career. So we do, if you do come in, we do offer mentorship. So this is really, I would say this is really a campus for those who are working in the public sector, or those who are just working in general, would really come and make use of a campus like NIPA. I was actually watching the Olympics, and the funny thing is that the Chinese athletes always thank their government. Said, no, thank you. The reason I got this gold medal is because of my government. They provided the facilities, and I want to thank my government. This is the same. The government of Namibia has provided this campus. I think it cost us over 100 million to build, and this campus is just meant to upskill those who are working, especially those who are working in public sector, but just in general, upskilling as well. So please come to our campus, make use of it. It is really for you. Okay, with that said, we'll move over to the next section, which is branding. Okay, what is branding? Okay, I'll open this floor up to my colleagues. What does branding mean? Because people usually come in, you are your own brand. I only like certain brands. I am a brand. What is branding? Colleagues, you can come in. Obviously, the brand champions. You guys are no brand champions for no reason. So please come in. Ms. Justy, please tell us, what is branding?
Thank you very much, Mr. Katole. I'm going to take you through branding. When you talk about brand, a brand can be a name, a term, a design, or any other feature that actually identify the seller's product or services. Now we need to understand the importance of brands. What are the importance of brands? Brands are actually strategic and financial asset of any organization, and a strong brand actually create the customer loyalty, which then increases the value of any business. Thus now allows the sellers to increase the prices on their product and services, because I mean, if the customers are loyal to the brand, then the prices won't have it won't have an effect on the customers, because they know the value, or let's say the quality that comes with a brand. The other thing that you need to understand about brand is the brand building strategies, or let's say the processes that are involved in branding, where now you have to define what a brand is. Once you have a full definition of what a brand is, then you can position the brand. How do you position a brand? You actually position a brand by doing research or finding out how customers think about the brand, what benefit they seek from the product or services that you offer, and what they believe about the product or services versus the competitors. Now, once you define what a brand position is in the marketplace, you need to actually express the brand. Now imagine the brand is a person. So as a person, you actually have a personality or an identity in terms of how you look like. So you do the same with the brand. At this step, this is now where you create the branding logo in order to help the customers easily recognize the brand, and creating awareness on the brand by keeping effective communication. I mean, you need to communicate regarding the brand, because then if you are not communicating, then the customers might forget about the brand, and your brand might also lose value. Another strategy is the brand equity. That now has to do with you measuring the value of the brand. Now also by you living up to the promise, like let's say you promise to deliver, so you live up to your promise, or let's just say you're doing what you're expected to do. So yes, Mr. Katola, you can continue.
All right, thank you, Ms. Justy. I think you gave some very valuable inputs there. There are different definitions. Those of us who come from a marketing background, there are different definitions for what we term as brands. But my favorite one is that it's a psychological value that someone holds about something. So it can be about a person, it can be about a company, it can be about a place. So just that psychological value. I was actually in the north a couple of weeks ago, and then I was talking to just the people in the villages, and then they always said no, they're speaking about a certain teacher, and they said no, you will not believe he's a teacher the way he carries himself, because he doesn't value himself. So there's value, as Ms. Justina had mentioned, there's even value in a person can be a brand. It's just that psychological effect that or value that people do hold. And Ms. Justina, you're very correct in this, the steps that you took about branding and positioning yourself. So even as people, you have to position yourself. And I like Ms. Justina. If you look at our poster, on the poster already, she already has she's already promoting the brand of the public enterprise that we just had a few weeks ago. So it's thank you for that information, Ms. Justin. If we go on, so brand is, as I mentioned, it's just a perception, and Ms. Justin has mentioned. So we really observe brands through perception, through hearing, okay, and through theory. And as I mentioned, it's the value that the consumers or the perceivers hold on that. So brands really try, or most brands try to put this value high, so they can really associate a high value with in the consumer's minds. So it is perceived values. someone's opinion of the product and the value it holds to him or her.
Just to add a little bit on the perception as well. So you also need to aim to have a positive brand perception. If people believe you are the best of the best, then you will be able to grow your brand further with it.
Yeah, that is very, very true. I mean, if
yes, Mr. Katole. Yes, Mr. Katole. And with the value, the brand value forms the foundation of the brand. And now also with this step, you need to identify the value of the brand by understanding the overall marketing strategies, basically.
Thank you, Ms. Jessie. Yeah, as Ms. Jessie had just mentioned, so if you have a higher value, people perceive it to the brand to be obviously higher. If you look at the clothing brands, so the Italians clothing brands, or even the French ones, the Louis Vuittons, the Gucci's, you know, the famous brands, they only came out, I think, somewhere around the 70s or so on. But people perceive them to be so of high value, and it really just grew the brand. So what Ms. Justy is saying is absolutely correct. And then if you look at the association, this is where Ms. Justy had mentioned positioning. These are the brand personality. So the brand personality has different aspects to it. So the price as a determinant, the packaging, obviously the word of mouth, the promotion, even the advertising, the point of sale, or even the sponsorships. So there's many different aspects that come into play for a brand. My other colleagues, do you want to add anything, Ms. Mona Lisa and Ms. Benitez?
Yes. Okay, thank you, Katole, for the platform again. Yeah, I quickly just want to touch on the branding aspect, because there are two things here, which is one of them that I'll be talking about is the branding, and then the brand itself. So maybe just to give clarity on the definition between the two, because okay, when you look at branding is it's sort of like a way how you identify your business. This is more on the customer recognition and the experience that they have about your business. So whereby you put different product out there in the market for your customers to be able to recognize and identify your business. And then based on what you have advertised and put out there in the market for your customers to see, that's in an essence what makes up your brand. Because from the customer's perspectives, the brands is the gut feelings that they have about your product that you are, or the service that you're advertising to them. Because a brand is not a logo. A logo is it's more like a symbol of a brand that you just put it out there. A brand is also not just a product. Because for me, in my own definition, I would say a brand is a result of what the customers feel and think about the product and the services that you offer. So maybe just for me to give clarity on the between the branding and the brand itself. So that's why now the brand becomes who you are based on what people think about you. Yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you, Mr. Benitez. And see, Mr. Benitez again is emphasizing the value that people hold. It's not just the logo, the makeshift. So it's the value that really people hold about you and your product. Ms. Mona Lisa?
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Katole, again for the floor. As my colleagues just mentioned about the brand and the branding and the logo. The logo and the brand of the organization is two different things. When you look at the logo is just a sample of things, of a sign. When you open your thing and then when you see a sign, yeah, that's NIPAM's logo. You know that's NIPAM standing there. But then when you come to the brand, It's a loving touch that you put to your organization. So I hope when it comes to branding, you have to understand what your customers and what you are putting in for a customer to take home or to take wherever they want to take. And then it's something that will reflect every time you close your eyes, you will see, oh, I saw this something very nice about the certain organization, which is NIPAM, and then the brand thing that the NIPAM is doing. Yeah, then you combine the two and then you go like, yep. Thank you very much, Mr. Katole.
Yeah, just even to add on that, especially when you are doing our branding, also one thing also that we should always keep at the back of our mind is that we shouldn't tend to advertise our brand beyond the community that we intend to reach, because that's sort of now trying to be more strategic when it comes to doing your branding as well. So yeah, just to put it out there.
All right, thank you, colleagues. I think your input is very valuable. If you look at internal brand, now we've dealt with obviously branding, and a lot of it we talked about consumers and customers buying your product or service, or even seeing your logo and so on. But now we talk about branding for your internal customers, for people inside your organization, or maybe even inside your family. You know, you want to position yourself inside your family so they can maybe respect you and so on, or even so when we look at internal branding, okay, the aim really here is to create greater commitment from the part of the employee, especially from a marketing perspective. So we want really our employees to really have the brand as their own. So I really want to hear from the previous brand champions how what they feel about marketing departments really selling to their own people, because we at NIPAM we really put emphasis on this with our weekly newspaper, with our weekly bulletin, and then we even put our own people in our adverts. So just to get that more commitment from them to sell the brand and even talk about it from word of mouth. So from Ms. Mona Lisa, Ms. Justine, maybe you can just tell us from how this concept really affects you as employees and as brand champions. Colleagues?
Mr. Katole.
Yes.
Thank you very much. We are talking about now the internal branding.
Yes. How does NIPAM's internal, because we really, from a marketing perspective, we really try to sell the brand even internally. I mean, with our weekly bulletins, and we always try, we try to hype it up internally, we always try to give a positive message that what NIPAM is doing. And how do you as employees receive it? And obviously you being a brand champion, you've taken this brand to the next level, and people have noticed it. So I want to get from your feeling, how has it been?
Okay, thank you very much. From my point of view, in February, as Mr. Katole indicated in the beginning, that I was a brand ambassador for NIPAM. Firstly, it caught me by surprise. Okay, I've been in NIPAM for quite some time. I've been in 2012, I was the face of NIPAM. I was all over. I was all over, posters all over, from Independence Avenue to Frankie Fredericks Drive. My picture was just all over NIPAM, Windhoek. And becoming a brand of an organization is just something, I love NIPAM. That's why I joined. I joined NIPAM as an ordinary person. I didn't know about NIPAM. But then when I joined NIPAM, I fell in love with the organization that I'm working for. I fell in love with what NIPAM is doing to the community, what NIPAM is doing to the whole Namibia, in outside the country. And what you do basically is you have to do, when you're doing something, you have to love what you're doing. You don't just do something for the sake of doing it. You know, some people are saying, no, I just go for the office to get my salary and walk out. You do something. I do NIPAM's advert or NIPAM's training as something that is off to my heart. It's something that I do wholehearted. You know, when you are promoting something, you're promoting a training for NIPAM, you just don't promote for the sake of promoting. You promote something with love. And when you put love on something, then definitely another person who's outside there will definitely fall in love with the training that you are advertising. Yeah. So becoming a brand champion for an organization, it really caught me by surprise, but then it was something touching, and that certain colleagues or your colleagues also value your outbringing whatever you're bringing to the organization. Another person is saying that this person is really committed to your organization. So I'm saying that the love that I have for NIPAM and the love that I have for the NIPAM's training, and it really grows a person. It's really something that one will really I cannot really explain how I felt and how it really feel. And now imagine if I, who is inside NIPAM, feel these things. Tell me, how about a person who's outside there? If I'm putting love to a training, how will another person from outside feel? So the love that you're giving to a training, the love that you are doing the promotion is really bringing in the people. Thank you very much, Mr. Katole.
All right, thanks, Ms. Monalisa. Even if you can look at the diagram, I think Ms. Monalisa just touched exactly what I wanted to say there. That obviously from internal branding, you have organizational loyalty, like Ms. Kapere was mentioning that you know, she fell in love with the brand, and you know, she found her purpose, and this in turn it goes down to customer-based equity. So she sold this concept to the customer. You know, one of the people buy from people; they don't just buy from organizations. So when you really and if the positiveness comes from the employee of this organization, you know, you get better loyal customer loyalty from those outside. Mr. Richard Branson, who owns Virgin Active, really says, you know, take care of your customer, your employees, and your employees will take care of your business. And this is really what internal branding is. So even with this brand championship that we do on a monthly basis, where we pick is really to get employees in the organization, to really get them to be loyal and you know, excited about the brand and about the products and services they're selling. So when they really go out there, they go out there with energy and they go out there with positivity. And this is really, from a marketing perspective, this is really what we want. I mean, I spoke to my executive director, and she was really happy that we're doing something of this sort. So we really encourage other public sector institutions to follow suit. I know it's a big thing at MVA and Manpower, but you know, we want even the line ministries, Ministry of Urban, even Office of the Prime Minister and Office of the President, to really, you know, do a lot of internal branding to get people, the employees, to get them excited about the brand, you know, and for them to, even if you're not selling a product or service, you know, you're just providing a service for like OPM, but then we just get the employees to really be excited about this, about the brand. And then on top of this, we on top of internal branding, we look at it has to do with customer satisfaction. Customer satisfaction really comes from customer service, how you deal with the customer. If we say customer service, it's not just a smile campaign, it's the quality of the service that you deliver and how well you actually deliver this service. Maybe Ms. Justina, you really are at the front desk of NIPAM. So and you are a brand champion. Imagine you are the receptionist and you are a brand champion. So this is it's a really a big deal. And even when you were brand champion, everybody was going on like, no, it's correct. You know, you've chosen the right person. So Justin, maybe we can just give us your view on customer service and you know and service quality.
Thank you very much, Mr. Katole, for the floor. Well, when you talk about customer service, this is basically just you trying to make. This is how you give. I mean, you treat your customers. What service do you give out there to your customers? Basically, trying to meet their needs or maybe solving the problems. Okay, well, I'm the face of NIPAM, and being here at the front desk, I actually learned a lot of things on how to approach customers, and I actually use the last approach whereby you have to listen, you need to apologize, and after that you solve, and then you give a thank you. So when you talk about listening, what exactly do you do in this step? This is where you try to find out the problem. What are the customers complaints, or what are the customers, what are customers what are customers complaining about? And then after that, when you find out now about the problem, it does not matter whether you are the wrong one, or there's a say that says customers are always right. So you need to apologize, and then after that you solve the problem. Once the problem is solved, and then you need to give a thank you. So yeah, with customer service, it's just the way you put yourself out there, the way you treat the customers, and all that. So it's very good. So this last approach for me, it's a very good thing, because let's say it's just a good way to organize yourself and help your clients and make them comfortable and happy.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Justy. Mr. Benitez, is there anything you want to add?
Yes. Yeah. For some of us who work in the ID department as well, we also engage a lot with a lot of clients from outside as well. And one of the things that I've really learned and that I always try to implement, as well as tell my colleagues to adopt, is the fact that you always try to make your customers feel like they are part of the brand or they are part of the business. It's like taking your business and then try to make it as their own business, so that they can see your business from your perspectives. And then in whatever they do after that, they take ownership, especially when it comes to our venue. So what I normally do as well, I just introduce them to the different facilities that we have in our training venues, and then train them, give them a small training and all that, and then tell them to say like, now this is your equipment, this is your baby, you are in charge, so feel at home and feel comfortable. And another thing also, it's just not just even people that are just coming to our library, like when you meet someone in the corridors, like as an NIPAM employees, you are a representative of NIPAM, because when someone meets you in a corridor, and then they engage you, even if they ask you a simple things, even if it is something that has nothing to do with your department or anything, maybe even they're asking about different programs that we offer. As an employee, you shouldn't tend to give an attitude of like, I'm not the one who is responsible for that now, because customers outside, they don't know who is in charge of what. So you should assist them in such a way where once they go out there, they are going to market NIPAM because of the services that you offer them. That's also how you sell your business, because already once you provide them with a quality service, even in whatever way that you have assisted them, that person is going out there and then sell NIPAM to their friend. already you have someone now that is advertising your business for free simply because of how you treated them at NIPAM. So for me, customer service really goes a long way in terms of advertising your brand and putting yourself out there in the market.
All right, thank you, Mr. Benitez. So you can hear from all of us what we're saying is that it's important for the quality that you do deliver. And this is what Mr. Benitez is exactly saying, that for your customers, perception is reality, and perception is created at every contact. And as Mr. Benitez and Ms. Justina had just mentioned, you want to make people feel welcome, then you want to give them that quality and that respect, so that they can go out and sell your products for you. Okay, and then perceptions are dynamic and individual. Therefore, you need to ask yourself, how do I see my service? Okay, how do customers see me? How do even internal customers see me? And then obviously change your ways to meet them. Okay, we have the 4 P's. This is principle. Well, obviously, always represent NIPAM with honesty and abide by the rules. These are just from a NIPAM perspective, but it can be tailor-made to your organization. But for NIPAM, we have these 4 principles, and always pride, show respect to yourself, to your organization, and to the customers. And I think Mr. Benitez had really mentioned about this. And also politeness. Ms. Justina mentioned really about this. Be thoughtful, be cautious, and also be kind. And then when you do professionalism, as Mr. Benitez has said, do your best. Okay, use your best. Even when he mentioned about the venues and the technology, so do your best and present your best. Because remember, your customer's perception is reality. So we always say, present your best. So even if you come to NIPAM, our reception, our areas, our venues are always clean, because we really want to present the best. I'm sure there's no rating as to the best venues in conference venues in Vintu, but if there was, I'm sure NIPAM would be really at the top, because we really pride ourselves in the quality service that we do give to our from a venue perspective. Okay, now we talk about brand champion. This is where I want to get the previous brand champions and just the experience and how they became brand champions. Okay, when we talk about a brand champion, what is a brand champion? Okay, a brand champion is anyone who's excited about the company's purpose and they can effectively communicate that purpose to others. This is the definition that we've chosen. And this can be an internal person, or it can also be an external person. I think Ms. Kapere had mentioned earlier that she's really excited. When she started NIPAM, she was really excited, and she started sharing this information with everybody. And suddenly she was the face of NIPAM. NIPAM put her on all the posters. She was everywhere. Okay. I just want to hear from the colleagues, from Mr. Benitez, Ms. Justina. What does it mean to be a brand champion to you? We heard from Ms. Mona Lisa. She was very excited. She had no words. But what does it mean to be a brand champion for you, Mr. Benitez?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Katole, once again. For me, being a brand champion, really, in a nutshell, I would say, be a working institution. Like when you're out there, the way you conduct yourself, the way you assist your clients, the way you engage with people, the way you carry yourself, do everything in the manner that represent your organization, in the manner that represent the values and the morals that your organization stand for. Because we have different core values here at NIPAM. So as an employee of NIPAM, you are actually a working representative of NIPAM in everything that you do. For instance, you cannot be an employee of NIPAM and then we do offer courses like customer care service. But then the way you offer your services to clients out there, it doesn't represent or put a good pictures of NIPAM out there, then definitely there is something wrong. So for me, and for me to this is the I realized that I'm actually representing something that is bigger than me. Especially when I used to go for hiking, sometimes you meet people there at the mountain. You are jogging up the mountain, and then someone is calling you like Master Nipam. Like I find people that I don't even know. Someone is just greeting you like, "Hey, Master Nipam," and then you'll be like, "Oh wow." So I've maybe met these people somewhere in Nipam. Maybe I've offered them a service, and then through that now they are remembering me that once they see me, they see Nipam. They don't even bother to ask about my name. They just know that I'm just Nipam. So for me, it's a huge honor and a privilege as well, not just to be a brand ambassador, a brand champion of NIPAM, but just to be an employee of NIPAM, really, in a nutshell. So as a brand champion, you always need to be passionate about the institution. You need to be passionate about everything that goes on about NIPAM. Like when people mention NIPAM, like you should be so excited and then have something positive to say about the institution. So you should be a champion of hope for the institution everywhere you go, even at weddings and everything and everywhere. So especially when someone asks you a question like where do you work, like you should use that as an opportunity to market NIPAM, to sell all the courses that we offer and all the services that we offer. So for me, being a brand champion really it means a lot. It's literally like my whole life.
All right, thank you, Mr. Benisi. I think you really touched a good point there where you said, you're a walking representative of that institution. So even if you had to go to maybe Ocho, and nobody knows of NIPAM there, when they think of NIPAM, they look at you. So, Mr. Benitez, you really hit the nail on the head when you said that. And when you also talked about passion, you have to have passion. I remember once Mr. Benitez actually, he was so passionate about the institution that he looked at our Facebook page and he was like, no, look, there's nothing happening on NIPAM Facebook page. Marketing department, do something, I'm also, as much as I represent NIPAM also represents me. So please, step up your game. So, it just shows the passion that that Mr. Benitez does have for this institution. And obviously, as a marketing department, we did step up, and you can visit our Facebook page now. So there's a lot of activity happening there. So, and this is just one way for us to really push each other. Okay, Ms. Justin?
Thank you very much, Mr. Katole. As Benitez explained earlier regarding brand champion, what a brand champion is. Okay, as for me, a brand champion is it has to do with promoting a brand. For me at NIPAM, being a receptionist, I remember when I was a brand champion, I received a lot of text on WhatsApp, people taking screenshots. Oh, this is the girl that was the brand ambassador for the other month. And it has to do with you promoting the brand. And the brand champion model, which is now the professional, you need to have a professional communication skills. As for me, I put NIPAM out there on WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, and every day I make sure that I upload something on NIPAM, so people out there get to see my post and get to know the company. And some of them actually don't know what NIPAM does, but the information that I put there gives out the information of what we basically do. So what I can see is just you putting out the brand out there so people can know what the organization does and what so yes.
All right, thank you, Ms. Justy. I mean,
yes, Mr. Katole, just to jump in there, thank you, Justy, for that, and thank you, Mr. Katole. Just as I mentioned earlier, when I was talking about when I indicated that the brand and the logo speaks at the end has the heart, so they meet at the bottom. So when you see NIPAM and then you see the brand ambassador, you combine the two and then you put them together and then it make a heart. So that heart represents the love that to the organization. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you, colleagues. If you go on, I think Ms. Justy had mentioned this perfectly, that this is our brand champion model. Like professional communication, we really look for those who communicate the brand in a professional manner, especially that organization like NIPAM associates with professionalism, because just by the nature of work that we do, so we have to be really professional. And I really have to applaud my colleagues, my three colleagues who really put the brand out there, even on their own Facebook page and on their own WhatsApp, and they really communicated this in a very professional manner. Okay? And then we have something called personal accountability. This is where I think Mr. Benitez had mentioned this, where he said, you are a walking representative. You need to engage with people. You need to respect your organization, and also they also respect yourself. So you need to really take personal accountability for this. And then we have something called, finally, the platinum rule. We obviously do unto others as you want them to do unto yourself. So if you want people to talk about you in a positive light, so talk about your institution in a positive light. Mr. Benitez always puts, on a daily basis, if we put on an advert, he always puts it on his WhatsApp status, and he always has a very good caption and a positive message. And even when I go out and people ask me, who's the best IT technician out there, I would obviously say Mr. Benitez. And even the people that he hired under him, I think he hired Mr. Nelson and Ms. Semester, that they just left, but you could see that the passion from the boss is also instilled into them, and that just comes from obviously doing unto others as you want them to do unto you. Okay, then we look at the steps that employees can become brand champions. Obviously, the first step we look at is to get to know your employee. At NIPAM, we really want to get to know the employee, and what he likes, what he doesn't like, and so on. We actually previously had a suggestion box where you can really get to know you can have suggestions, but nowadays we have more formal communication in terms of a WhatsApp group. So we really get to know your employees. So I really suggest from an employer's perspective that employers should really get to know the employees, even supervisors. You should really get to know your subordinate. In our marketing department, we usually have a team building sessions where we just go for a day outside work and we really try get to know each other, and really builds a lot of cohesion and into the team. Maybe the other colleagues can say something about this. Right, I don't think they want to say anything about this. Okay, looking at getting to know your employees, also employees are viewed as assets, not costs. Okay, people in their lifetimes will have 4 to 6 careers, so they'll move from one department to another in their lifetime. So get to know them, get to know their changing preferences. Obviously, the world is changing, so also, but get to know your employees, how they change. And then more than half the women with babies are working, and this is important. More women are starting and running their own businesses. So more women are also going out there, and even colleagues at NIPAM. So a lot of women out there, I've seen even on WhatsApp status, they're selling, and they're starting to be more entrepreneurial. Where back then it was more of a male dominated, but you can see now that a lot of more females are running their own businesses. Okay, second step is really teach colleagues to connect. I think at NIPAM we always emphasize this. We put our posters on our WhatsApp group. We always say share. We had even a training on how to use Zoom or MS Teams. Just so colleagues can really connect better. So we really emphasize that. Teach employees to really connect both within the organization and outside the organization. So really help them, and staff meetings and other platforms of this nature are really helpful in that aspect. And then finally, give them a project, or even make them show them effort for what they've done. Like for instance, Miss Mona Lisa, she really promoted the brand, and we made a brand ambassador. We said, "Oh, thank you." She won a month-long lunch, which I believe she enjoyed, and so did Ms. Benitez. Ms. Justina still has to get her month-long lunch after this lockdown because our cafeteria is closed. But in general, give your employees a project. Let them lead. Give them that responsibility, or make them the brand ambassador. As you had mentioned, you heard from the previous brand ambassadors how much value it holds to them. Everybody wants to be put on that placard, or everybody wants to to be given reward for the effort that they put in. So give them reward for the effort that they have put in. Okay, I think, and then finally, yeah, let them lead. Okay, let them lead in their own brand, and also let them lead in advocating the company's brand. Yeah, maybe the other colleagues want to come in and say something.
Yes, just to mention the last part of let them lead. It doesn't matter whether a person is a cleaner or a person is an executive. Giving a person to lead is the trust that you put into a person. If a person believes that you have trust in that person will climb a ladder. But then if you are in doubt of saying, that person is just an ordinary person, that person cannot promote, or you cannot send that person to, before this COVID thing, we were having these things of showgrounds, NIPAM going to places to advertise NIPAM. It doesn't say that if Mr. Katole is a marketing officer or is a chief marketing officer, and then you take an ordinary person who's just an admin or a cleaner to send to Ongwendiva, that person will not present NIPAM. Let the person have trust in the person so that that person will be able to do even better than what you are doing. So let the person lead. Let the person take initiative and see whether that person can really do something. Because you will put a picture on a person and then you will say, that person will not do something. But then the moment that person goes out there, you will not believe the outcome. Yeah, thank you very much, Mr.
Right. Thank you, Ms. Melissa. And that's very, very true. I mean, I have put it to the test where, you for instance, my colleague, Ms. Sirika, she's leading our clubhouse discussions. And, she's just an intern, and I gave her the responsibility, and it's taken a life of its own. So really, let people lead. The other colleagues?
Yes, thank you. For me, I wanted to touch on the second point, teach them to connect. That one. I think we really, really need to put a lot of emphasis on this, because especially when it comes to putting our advert out there on social media, because that doesn't really cost anything. I mean, we have free Wi-Fi here at NIPAM. Everyone is on WhatsApp. Really, we don't, as employees of NIPAM, we don't have any other excuse why we shouldn't even advertise NIPAM on our social media platform. Even if you don't even have to add any caption, once you get the advert out there on the group, just put it out there on the social media platform. That's one way how we sell our institution. Because at the end of the day, when employees are going to ask for things like salary increment, because if you're not selling our services, how are we going to make money? How are we going to become relevant in the market out there if you are not marketing our institution? Because at the end of the day, we are the one that benefit out of advertising our institution. So really, really, I don't know whether we need to create sessions on how we can educate people on how to engage their friends on social media, or do a lot of campaigns on that. Really, I think we need to put a lot of emphasis on this.
No, you are correct, Mr. Benitez. I think this is a good idea. Maybe the marketing department needs to organize this session and how employees can really engage better on social media and how to promote the brand better. But I think I'll take it as a suggestion. Thank you, Mr. Benitez. All right, I think with that said,
sorry, Mr. Katole, just to go back on our program. Apart from having our flagship programs, we also have tailor-made courses, and then we also have short courses like customer cares, protocol and ethics, and we do also give tailor-made courses where an organization can come in and say, no, we want let's say a cleaning, a housekeeping course for our cleaner, and then we want a number of people to be trained. NIPAM do also offer those tailor-made courses, and then it's just a click of a button. You call or you send an SMS. I mean, you call or you send an email to Mr. Katole, and then your organization will be assisted with that. Yeah, just to throw on courses that NIPAM is offering. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Ms. Wanmisa. You can see that is why she's brand ambassador. She's always promoting the the organization. Just before I close, she had to promote the organization. Thank you, Ms. Mona Lisa. And this is what we want as employers. Maybe there are some managers listening now, and they'll listen later to this webinar. It's available on our on our social media sites, and it'll be there for the next 2 weeks. So if you are listening to this, really, this is what you want your employees to do, to really be passionate about, just like Ms. Mona Lisa was saying, be really passionate about the institution. When you're about to close, they mention 1 or 2 things. Whether it's an institution, whether it's your church, you really want people inside your organization to be passionate about the institution. And then I'll leave you with a quote if you're going to achieve excellence in big things, you need to develop a habit in little matters. Excellence is not the exception, it's a prevailing attitude. So it's an attitude that you really have. Attitude you have about your organization, about yourself. And with that said, I think we've come to the end of our webinar. I want to thank the panel members, Mr. Justine, Ms. Caperi, and Mr. Benitez. Thank you. The past brand champions. There's a reason you guys were brand champions. You guys always promote the institution with passion. And you guys really have a good prevailing attitude for organization and for yourselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Katole.
Thank you, Mr. Katole, and have a great day.
Well done. Again, thank you for everybody who listens. Please, if you do make comments, have comments, shared shared on your social media sites. Put the comments in, and we will get back to you. All right. Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye.